Life story, here we go. So I was born in Hull and I moved to Toulouse in France at a young age because of my dad's work. So I grew up in France. I had a different childhood to a lot of people here, so I think it's not very relatable in that sense. Different experiences, different nostalgia. But yeah, I grew up in France. I lived there till I was about 8 or 9, and then I moved back to Hull. And when I moved back to Hull, it was like reliving everything again. You know, trying to reintegrate into an English society and an English school. Again, like I mentioned it before, like being alienated, it basically happened again. But it was easier to find my feet here. And then, yeah, once primary school was over, nothing really happened during primary school. But when I went to Trinity House in Hull, it's a Navy school, so it was raised in like more of a military setting. You know, you're not allowed to wear things, haircuts, the way you act. You know, I'd say that school for me was a lot different to a lot of people. So it shapes you in a different way. It was also an all-boys school, and I think that also affects the mentality of a lot of the lads that went there. More of a man in that sense. One thing I did realise about that was girls are very much a distraction. At a young age, a lot of the people that I was friends with that didn't go to the school, they were, you know, chasing relationships, chasing girls, and just trying to enjoy themselves, which is obviously what you should be doing when you're that age. But I think the mentality in the school was different, in the sense that everyone was working towards something. But there's also a bad side to that as well. There's a lot more like violence in those types of schools. And it also, as well, I lived in a village, so I wasn't really exposed to many the city lifestyle and street culture. But spending time with different people from different areas of the city made me realise how different people live. So that was one big thing. And I would talk to my friends about it, and they don't understand about the poverty that was in the city and how poor people really were, because we lived in quite a rich area. And then after that, I moved to the city, to the other side of the city. And that's when it really like picked up, and like my mindset changed in that sense, and I started to realise what I wanted more. But it also comes with a downside. You know, I was exposed to like different people and like bad people, I guess. So I started taking a more of a dark path, but I think I was smart enough to realise that it wasn't for me, and got out as soon as. But you know, a lot of friends didn't, and yeah, I'm not really friends with them anymore. But it makes you realise about how things are different. And then once I finished school, I did well in my GCSEs and went to college, started studying law, crime and stuff like this, to go into the police as a detective. I've got family members that are in the police, so I took influence from them. And after doing that for a couple of years, COVID came along, and this was probably the biggest turning point in my entire life was COVID, as it was for a lot of people. For me, it was in the sense I was lined up to go to university in London, and I was ready to go, and then I ended up just deferring and withdrawing my application so that I could really find what I truly wanted to do. I realised that criminology and working for the police is not really what I wanted to do. So I basically took a year out, took a gap year, worked as much as possible, started earning money, and that was when I realised how big part of your life is your career. And that's when I realised that I wanted to put more energy into my career, more energy into earning money and becoming successful. I guess it's kind of toxic. There's a toxic side to money because you become driven by it, and it's like an addiction. So coming back to university a year later made me realise that it's not all about that, and it's about just building yourself up, mindset-wise, keeping yourself healthy, you know, going to the gym, doing these different things. And yeah, now I'm at university in my third and final year, and yeah, I'm doing business. So being a business student, I've been looking for ways to get a head start on my career. And after working like a lot of jobs, like different jobs, part-time jobs, it led me to where I'm working now. I joined a small company that's based in Derby. We're a marketing company, and you know, got on with the founder really well. Basically became a right-hand man, and now I've built up my reputation to be able to run the company with him. And yeah, mainly the thing that I want to do now is, my all-time goal now is to get into property, become a landlord, and really just build up my wealth in general, but also have the ability to travel, because that's something that I've realised is travelling is a big part of wealth. So that's what I want to do, be able to work from where I want and see what I want, and not be restrained by a city, a job, a family, and stuff like that. Obviously family is different, but you get what I'm getting at. Yeah, that's pretty much my life story, I guess. I don't really, other than little bits like in between, not really big details. I just continuing my career and see where it goes. Graduating is another big goal. Hopefully I'll be the first person in my family to get a degree, aside from my grandma. So yeah, I come from a family of not non-academics, so I guess I'm different in that sense, and that's basically what I'm trying to carry with me, and just to propel myself further. That's what I'd say, and that's probably my life story up until now. The rest is to come.